Hi everybody, this is Big Boss Foss and welcome to the month of March. And this month we are going to be focusing on sexual responsibility. And on this video I'm going to let you guys in my head and heart on how I feel about a very controversial topic, abortion. I was raised in a Christian household, and I still identify myself as a Christian and value Christian beliefs. I'm also a woman that is very, very protective of women's rights. And one of those rights is the right to choose. Now, in the best case scenario, both the man and the woman are using protection if they're having sex and do not desire little people. But in cases where one slipped past the goalie, or they were being sexually irresponsible, or they were doing all they could to avoid pregnancy, and inevitably it still happened. I do believe that the woman has a right to decide whether or not she wants to bring the pregnancy to term. There are millions upon millions of unwanted children in the world who are neglected, abandoned, and who ultimately grow up to be like many of the nutcases we battle here on YouTube. But even more tragically, they're just people who grow up with an inability to appreciate their own existence, or they're in deep depths of poverty and will never be able to come out of it, or they just do not have the benefit of parental love or engagement because the parents were not prepared for them. Now, if you are not prepared to have children, you should not have sex, because that is the only way that children are created, aside from artificial means. But I do believe that women have the right to decide whether or not they want to have children. There were times in the past where women did not have a right. They didn't even have access to birth control. And, husbands, lovers, boyfriends didn't necessarily have the access they needed to condoms. And when they did, they weren't as concerned about it because they're not the ones who are going to get pregnant. So if a woman does not want to have a baby, she should not be forced to carry this child to term. And I think that if we erode the right to choose and take that away from women and make it more restrictive and stringent, I think that's a horrible, horrible injustice. Pregnancy is always, always more unsafe than an abortion. And I'm not necessarily saying, be reckless, have unprotected sex, and use abortion as a means of birth control. No, I think it's a last resort measure. It should always be a last resort measure, and it should never be done without thinking it over, thinking of the consequences, and speaking with the dad about how he feels about it. I think it should be a mutual decision, but in the event that the woman has to make this decision on her own, I definitely think she should have the right to choose. I believe it would be horrible if it was even more restrictive. It could mean that there are underage women carrying around, statutory rape babies, or, assault babies, just incest babies. I just find that so absolutely disgusting and horrific. So, as a woman, a Christian, and a person who absolutely despises kids being neglected or unwanted, I say let's keep the right to choose alive and not restrict it. Okay, this is Big Boss Foss. I'm out.